Hello everyone and welcome back to Neptune's Tarot. My name is Monique and this is my second tarot channel here on YouTube. And many of you do know me from my main tarot channel, Moon Moth Goddess. So if these readings do resonate for you, I'd encourage you to also check out my main tarot channel where I do primarily love readings over there, but I have had that channel for over 3 years. So I also have a playlist that is filled with other pick a card readings on other topics. So you may enjoy just kind of browsing over there as well. So today's pick a card reading, we are looking at what your biggest trauma is that needs healing, maybe even something that you are having awareness of. Some of you may have, gone through a specific trauma in which you've kind of shut out a lot or blocked out a lot of feelings, emotions, disassociated, maybe through certain events and things of that nature. So it's basically a healing pick a card reading today. We're looking at what the biggest trauma is that Spirit is kind of sensing with and around your energy, and how can you heal it. So we're going to kind of bring or shed light upon whatever that could be. For this reading, I feel like if you do feel drawn to more than one pile, that is perfectly okay. You may have messages that kind of spread throughout the different piles that are here today. So pile number 1, we have the raccoon pile, and that is going to be with this blue rose quartz. Okay, let me just take up your card. So we have the raccoon with the blue rose quartz, your biggest trauma and how to heal it. Okay, so the raccoon and blue rose quartz for pile 1. And then pile number 2, we have the dolphin, and that is with this little ocean jasper for pile number 2. And then pile number 3, we have the horse with this rainbow fluorite crystal. Okay, so what is your biggest trauma and how can you heal it? So of course, keep in mind that this is a general reading. So there may be a lot of different situations that kind of come through with this. So only take what fits, leave the rest. Like I said, if you do feel drawn to more than one pile, that is perfectly okay. So your biggest trauma, how to heal it. So pile 1 with the raccoon and the blue rose quartz, pile 2 with the dolphin and the ocean jasper, and then pile number 3 with the horse and the rainbow, or yes, rainbow candy fluorite, something like that for pile number 3. So pause the video if you need a little bit more time, and I will see you guys at your reading. Hello, pile number 1. So those of you that resonated with this raccoon and the blue rose quartz crystal, this is going to be your reading today. So the raccoon is actually going to be one of your cards for your reading today. So we're going to start off with putting out your tarot, and then we will also get into, I want to look at the whole kind of picture of the energy that's coming through for you. So starting off with the tarot cards, we have the 6 of Swords. 6 of Swords. We have the Ace of Pentacles. We have the Page of Swords. We have the Empress. We have the Hanged Man. And then we also have the 2 of Cups. Okay. So let's look at your tarot. We have your raccoon. We have card number 7, Voice of the Outcasts with Advocacy. We have card number 29, and it says Discover Your Life Purpose. We also have the Angel of Strength with card number 50. And then we have the links, and it says invisibility and revelation. Okay, now, like I said, general reading, but I'm just going to kind of go with what the strongest energies there that are coming through here within your pile. So we're looking at what your biggest trauma is and how you can heal it. Now, starting off with your little raccoon here, the raccoon is earth energy. So it could be, you could be Taurus, Virgo, or Capricorn energy, but I'm also noticing that you do have the Empress here. So the raccoon energy is talking about many of you having traumas surrounding your own, I feel like your own identity. Okay, your own identity. And I feel like a lot of that, your self-image, basically. And that is going around for many of you surrounding the feminine energy. Okay, so regardless of your gender, we all have both feminine and masculine energies within us. And I feel like this is something that is affecting the feminine. Now, I'm just going to kind of, like I said, talk about some different things that I'm seeing here. But I'm feeling many of you could be someone who grew up with a parent, and it could, I mean, with the Empress, it's more going to be mom, maternal energy, or maybe even significant females that you may have had in your life. And it doesn't just have to be about childhood. It can even be about any other experience that you've had, maybe with friends, family members, coworkers. Just kind of leave it open, okay? But a lot of that is centered around the feminine energy. So some of you could have grown up in a home in which mom may have had her own issues with self-worth, self-esteem, and her own self-image. Okay, someone who's struggling with their own self-image. And this could have led to you, I'm feeling finding a little bit of an imbalance within your own energies. This could have been something that affected your own self-esteem, your own self-worth, your own confidence in yourself. And I feel like a lot of that has not only manifested in your life with affecting your love life, but also affecting you in a way surrounding abundance and about you having enough confidence in yourself without really, I feel like, doubting yourself. I'm feeling that you may have been someone who felt very different or even cast out by friends, maybe even family members who, I'm feeling significantly a feminine energy here who didn't approve. Some of you could have had a parent that didn't approve, someone who wasn't nurturing, someone who wasn't emotionally available, someone who really didn't provide in that nurturing type of energy to you. So that may have been something that you tried or even struggled with. Learning yourself is how to love yourself, how to, learn about yourself and who you were and your creative energy. I'm feeling a lot of you may have even grown up in a home in which you speaking your truth or speaking up. I'm feeling many of you were very intelligent children with a lot to discover. And I feel like maybe a lot of questions, a lot of learning. I feel like you were very inquisitive and kind of wanting to understand things. And I'm feeling for some of you, there could have been maybe in a lot of trauma. I'm noticing this hangman has a bunch of arrows that are kind of stuck all over him, and his hands are bound, his feet are bound. And some of you, I'm feeling there was a lot of restrictive energy, almost like you couldn't, maybe you didn't have the freedom to be able to express yourself and to speak your truth and to maybe even have someone to listen to you and to nurture you when you were maybe a child that had all of those questions and, you were discovering your own identity and who you were. And I'm feeling that there's definitely, because I'm looking at how discover your life purpose here, and I'm seeing how this guy is playing this violin right next to this female who's kind of sitting down there, and she kind of looks like she's looking out into the distance. And I'm feeling for some of you, there is some type of trauma that's here. I don't know what kind it is, okay, but I am feeling for some of you, it may be centered around some type of abuse, okay, that I'm getting, especially with that hangman with a bunch of arrows all over the place, all over his body. But this almost makes me feel, and I'm sorry guys, sometimes these readings that I do, and it happens to me when I'm doing passed on loved ones reading, but sometimes the energy that comes through is particularly heavy. So I just want to apologize to you guys in advance and just kind of put out a trigger warning right now, especially going into this reading with a lot of this stuff kind of coming up. Sometimes I get very emotional with talking about or some of the energies that are coming through. So, you know, this reading might definitely put you in your feelings, but I feel like that the majority of you that actually clicked on this readings are ones that are ready, prepared to actually do the work and to acknowledge where there are certain traumas and things that you still need to heal from. So it's kind of like clicking on it, going into it, you know, it's going to bring some stuff up that is uncomfortable, you know, so it's a lot of shadow work that's involved with this reading. But I'm looking at how this woman is sitting here, and there is this violin that's playing next to her in a sense. And this is saying, discover your life purpose. I'm also noticing that in the back of this card, there is this female energy here that's kind of hovering above her. And there's all of this, what looks like it's coming out of like this waterfall over these mountains that are here. So I'm feeling that a lot of it, like I said, is centered around the feminine energy. She also looks to me like she's a little bit lost. And it could be that because you may have been someone who's gone through a lot of maybe feeling very different, trying to discover your own identity. Like I said, many of you could have grown up in a home in which that parent was someone who didn't even have their own identity. They may have also, and I'm seeing for some of you, it's kind of going through the maternal line for some of you, where you may have had a parent who didn't even know who they were. They had their own unhealed trauma, and they're raising you in a home in which they are kind of, in a way, projecting their unhealed trauma and wounds on you. So it's like if they are someone who doesn't understand their own feelings, their own emotions, and see their own worth and have a lack of confidence in themselves, how are they going to be able to raise you to build you up in a way, right? So I'm seeing here voice of the outcast. And so it makes me feel that you were someone who felt like you were not able to use your voice. It could even be that the voice was something that was stifled. You didn't feel confident. Maybe you were somebody who felt the need to hide yourself, as I'm seeing with this raccoon. And the raccoons, you know that they wear that, or they don't wear it. They have a little mask that's kind of covering their eyes. So it makes me feel like you could have been someone who hid in a way that you could be someone who dressed a certain way that may have been very different than others. Some of you, especially if you were a female, you could have wore a lot of makeup, a lot of trying to cover up, in a sense, that identity from home life and trying to be someone else, almost like a form of escapism from the things that you were going through. And it makes me feel like a parent who wasn't unable to accept themselves, and so they weren't able to kind of give you that energy where you could learn to expect and love yourself, learn to love yourself, kind of building up your own confidence, your own self-esteem, your own self-worth. It may have been that you had difficulties with forming bonds and connections with friends, with other people, maybe even with romantic partners, almost like struggling to find your voice and to try to feel comfortable in your own skin. With the Empress is about beauty. The Empress is about love, unconditional love, nurturing, self-love, self-care, learning what your worth is, learning what your value is. So some of you could have struggled with being able to express yourself, to find words to express yourself. It makes me feel like almost like your voice was something that, almost like your opinions, the things that you had to say, were something that maybe were not listened to. Like almost like this, there's a lack of a nurturing here. Almost felt like you didn't belong. I feel like around friends, maybe even feeling like you didn't fit in the family for some of you, especially with the voice of the outcast here. Feeling like you were kind of shut out, or that person in the family who was kind of overlooked, right? Especially if you were someone who had siblings, and almost like energy is being focused on the siblings and not so much you. And I feel like with the Six of Swords energy here, that many of you have really tried to work past a lot of these thoughts that have been very challenging for you, and you're still finding there is difficulties with learning to love yourself and learning to change or shift your perspective, because I'm feeling that the people that you may have surrounded you may have not learned to even accept themselves or to even discover who they were at their core. Almost for some of you, I'm getting even having to feel like you had to grow up too soon. You know, because with the Lynx energy here, we're seeing invisibility. So it makes me feel like some of you felt like you just wanted to kind of disappear. You felt invisible. You feel like you were not being seen. You were not being heard. And for some of you, that can even be manifesting into your adult relationships in a way that there are blockages surrounding heart chakra. You could be finding yourself, I'm getting for some of you, almost like you feel like you need to save people. You need to save people. You need to, you might be somebody who kind of draws in romantic partners that have emotional blockages, emotional immaturity, not even knowing how to express their own feelings, their own heart. Their own self-esteem, self-worth issues, lack of confidence is something coming in pretty strong. But this raccoon energy is a very shadowy, kind of like in hiding. What else am I seeing here? A lot of issues around limited, maybe even creativity for some of you, because the Empress is also a very creative energy. And I'm feeling that many of you were very talented, had a lot of skills, a lot of abilities. But I'm feeling for some of you, maybe feeling not being accepted, not feeling validated, not feeling heard. What else? I'm feeling kind of creativity being something that was limited. Because we have the page coming in here, the pages represent children within the tarot, or something that is new, a novice, or something that is a beginning, or we're still learning. The Page of Swords is also like the energy of a student. Okay, so with the Swords energy, this is talking about our thoughts, our ideas, our communication with others, things of that nature, anything having to do with the mind. Okay, so if we're kind of struggling with the Page of Swords as a way that we're thinking, or the way even that we're communicating with other people, this can create issues with us learning how to, or being able to properly articulate ourself, our own ideas, our own maybe ideas about ourself, our ideas about love, our ideas about forming connections. It's almost like, to me, when I look at this Page of Swords, it's almost like a trauma that you had gone through that in a way, I know this is not the right way of saying this, but it's almost making me feel like when something is like stunting your growth, if that's the way, like something that's blocking your evolution in terms of your thoughts and your words and the way that you communicate with others. Okay. Yeah, this raccoon just makes me feel like a lot of like wanting to hide, wanting to just be in hiding and not really, maybe even afraid, lack of confidence, being afraid to speak up. Some of you may have been very shy, maybe very shy, feeling maybe even that people didn't recognize you, people didn't pay attention to you. And I feel like because of a lot of that here, with the discovering your life purpose, It's a lot of you trying to figure out who you are as an adult, you know, because some of you, the trauma that you may have gone through, a lot of it was with words. I feel like a lot of things that were communicated to you and said to you that maybe took that self-esteem away, that took that confidence away. And I'm feeling it's, like I said, with a parent that may have not felt good about themselves, and so they were projecting those wounds onto you. And it is maybe a person that you were dealing with that had a very limited perspective in the way that they viewed the world, and so kind of instilling those belief systems upon you. Many of you, like I said, it's not only affecting love, friendships, connections with other people, but also your abundance. Okay, blockages surrounding abundance. And that is about you learning that you have the power to be able to manifest and create the reality that you truly want. So this revelation here, to me, also with the Lynx energy, is about you truly having a change or a shift in perspective and I feel like this is more or less helping you to heal. Okay, some of you may even be someone who is stepping into a place where you are feeling called to be the voice of, in a way, the voiceless. And that for some of you can even be feeling called to work with children or even helping people to heal their inner child as well. Because this to me is revelations with the things that you've gone through in your past that is helping you to discover what your purpose is now. I'm feeling a lot of emotional release here. And it is, like I said, surrounding a lot of the feminine energy here. Some of you, even with this person playing the violin right next to this female, it makes me feel like many of you have stayed in a lot of victim consciousness type of energy, which is, I would say, when you're going through a specific trauma, you do identify as a victim, right, of something that you have gone through. But that doesn't always have to be your story, right? You can evolve and grow beyond that in turning to, say, a survivor, right? Going from victim to survivor, and then from survivor to we are healed and we are no longer attaching ourselves to that name, and being able to kind of free ourselves from the limitations that those words can have around us. So it's kind of like you learning how to better embody your own energy, feeling comfortable in your own skin. Some of you, this may have even come from a parent who didn't accept themselves in a way that they could have been someone who pointed out almost like an issue surrounding not accepting their own physical appearance, right? Which makes me think of a lot of, for some of you, like body dysmorphic disorder, in a way that you may have, it could have been something that affected your own self-esteem, not feeling pretty enough, not feeling like your body was good enough, not feeling, you know what I'm saying? Just all of those types of energies here that made you feel like you had to hide yourself, like you couldn't accept yourself for who you were. And feeling so different than other people. And I'm also noticing here there's a lot of red, with this woman wearing a red dress. The Empress is wearing red. This page is wearing red. This Six of Swords person in the boat is wearing red. And a lot of that to me also is tied into the root chakra. Okay, so the root chakra is at the very base of the spine, and the things that we go through within the root chakra are when our basic needs are not being met. Maslow's hierarchy of needs, which means our food, our shelter, love, something as basic as love, being nurtured, feeling wanted, right, within the family. So when these things are not being met, basic things are not being met, money, right, not having enough money, growing up in poverty, growing up without food, growing up without shelter, growing up without clothing, without being cared for, without feeling loved, right? And even if you had a parent that was present, does not mean that those needs were being met, right? Just because you had a parent that was present, even if you had and suffer from abandonment, you can have that feeling even with a parent living in the home, because you feel that that parent is not nurturing you, that parent is not talking to you, not communicating. The parent doesn't know how to communicate, right? So that grows kind of like where you grew up into that person who doesn't know how to communicate what your needs are, what your desires are, right? Not having your own voice. So many of you, we have the voice of the outcast, advocacy, and discover your life purpose. So like I said, for many of you, it is you being someone, especially with the Empress. The Empress is an energy that has a lot to do with children or a child, nurturing, love. So some of you may have a life purpose that directly involves healing, or like I said, being a voice for other people, being an advocate, being someone who fights for rights of children, or some type of activist, or someone who... I'm feeling a lot of healing here with the Empress. A lot of emotional release. So some of you could be even naturally gifted healers that chose this pile, or have life purpose that is aligned with some type of healing modality. Some of you, it is very directly well connected to children. And that could be you working with children, or it can also be you maybe even working with adults and helping them to heal the inner child. Okay. But yes, it's maybe you are someone who, by learning how to find your own voice, learning how to change and transform your thoughts. And of course, it's not just about changing your thoughts, right? Because when you have trauma, you can't just tell someone, you know what, change your thoughts, and you're going to be good. You're going to be fine. It doesn't work like that. That trauma is stored in the body. And like I said, looking at that hangman energy, he's got arrows that are just all over him, right? Head to toe. He's got those arrows in there. So to me, that is also symbolic of, because it is little, what are those arrows? It kind of reminds me a lot of the swords energy, which again, to me, are the thoughts, the communication, the words that are spoken to you, communicated to you, not feeling good enough, you know? Even with this Page of Swords here, he looks like he's kind of wiping something off of his sword. And to me, that is, you know, maybe there's some type of pain that has been inflicted from something that was communicated to you, right? And with that hangman, all of those, in a way, I'm looking at this symbolically of all of those maybe opinions of other people, thoughts about you and who you were and who you weren't and who you couldn't be yourself. And, you know, feeling that need to hide, like I said, with the raccoon energy, feeling like you couldn't be yourself. Maybe because you didn't love yourself, and maybe you still may be struggling with learning to love yourself, and realizing that it's okay. It's gonna make me cry. Realizing that it's okay to be who you are and not feel like you need the validation from other people. You know, I'm looking at like this guy who's like playing the violin, and it's like, to me, it's kind of like this sad, kind of like music that's being played here, right? But to me, that's where I was kind of getting like this whole victim type of mentality or energy. But you being able to just kind of move on past that and find balance and harmony within yourself and really work on, and I'm feeling a lot with the Empress energy, a lot of healing the feminine. And I'm just going to move this down a little bit. But a lot of healing that feminine energy there. And I feel like that, you know, with the root chakra, like I said, there are many different ways of working towards healing the root chakra. There's many different beautiful meditations that they have on YouTube. There's also different working with sound bowls, sound healing. The angel of strength to me is a lot of solar plexus energy. Okay, so namely, I'm seeing the root chakra here, the solar plexus. This can even be tied into a little bit, because I'm seeing a little bit of the orange here as well, a little bit of the sacral chakra. Okay, which is essentially you reclaiming your power. So working on the lower chakras, I feel like is going to be something that's very helpful for you. It may also be something that really helps you to open up the crown and the third eye as well. But I feel like once you learn how to, yes, change or shift the perspective, that it doesn't have to be what it's been in the past, or even a parent that may have raised you in that type of environment or that energy. And like I said, for some of you, it doesn't even need to be something that you've gone through in childhood. It can be a relationship that you've had that made you feel like you weren't good enough, or you weren't pretty enough, or you weren't this enough, or you weren't that enough, right? Is even stuck in situations with people that didn't know how to communicate love and to nurture. You could have been in a relationship with someone who was verbally abusive, or somebody who just cut you down and made you feel like you weren't good enough. And I feel like a lot of that may have put you in a place, like I said, where you had to really struggle, and you may still be struggling with finding out, truly, this is like a lot, you guys. A lot of what your purpose is, a lot of you learning to just love yourself and be okay with who you are, and not feeling like you have to pretend or be somebody that you're not, but for you to embody your own energy, your own power, to kind of pull back into that confidence where you find that strength and that courage to be who you are and not be ashamed, and not feel like you're going to be talked down to or looked at as different, and that you don't fit in, which you may kind of feel like that, right now, with maybe not having or struggling even with friends and things of that nature. A lot of this energy for you too is also extremely creative. And I feel like that is the one thing that Spirit is wanting you, why this Empress energy is so important, because that is the embodiment of our feminine. That is our creativity. That is our intuition. That is our self-love. It is us nurturing ourselves. It is us recognizing what our abilities are and how we have the power to be able to manifest the life, the love, the friends that you're truly deserving of. And with that Ace of Pentacles, and the Six of Swords, to me, I'm seeing this as a place of transition where you're at in your life, that you're working right now towards changing and shifting that perspective for yourself. With the Page of Swords energy, because this is an energy of a student and learning and knowledge and wisdom, this is also Spirit encouraging you to learn, right? Learn on ways in which you can heal this trauma, or to work on ways of discovering how you can heal yourself, how you can love yourself, how you can work on changing those thoughts that you have about who you are as a person, and being able to accept yourself, right? And not worry about and need other people's validation of who you are. The Six of Swords is a card. It's the rites of passage. It is about us moving through these difficulties, these challenges, removing ourselves out of situations that are not showing us that they value you, or that they know what your worth is, or people, friends, whoever they are. This is you moving away from them, right? If that means cutting someone out of your life, then that's what it means, right? Removing yourself out of that energy and really finding your own voice through all of this, and not feeling like you have to, like I said, fit into a box or a mold. So some of you could be studying, learning, right, about healing the feminine energy. For some of you, especially with this raccoon here, like I said, many of you are very, very creative. And there's a lot of talent, a lot of tenacity, a lot of your mind. That Page of Swords the Page of Swords has the most intelligent, sharpest mind of the entire tarot deck. And it is because that Page of Swords energy is so inquisitive and wants to study and learn and knowledge. And I feel like I said, many of you may have been so smart, so intelligent, and because there may have been a lack of confidence or even belief in yourself, right? Having a parent who puts you down or doesn't acknowledge that talent or the skill, or you feel invalidated in some way, even by friends or romantic partners kind of putting you down, that you felt the need to hide all of that. Right? Even for some of you, what I'm getting here is Spirit tell me about a situation in which parents not acknowledging your intelligence. Like, this could be you going to school, getting an A, 100% on a test, And then that still not being something that's good enough for the parent, almost like putting you down in a way, or even comparing you to siblings, like, oh, well, this, your sister or your brother got this or that. How come you can't do that? How come you didn't do it? It's just, I'm just feeling there's a lot, but here it's about you opening up to your creativity, right? Because the Empress is a very energy of birthing and fertility, creation, birthing something new. And with the Ace of Pentacles energy here, this is about opportunity. This is about Spirit wanting you to kind of embody that energy of the Empress so that you can truly open up yourself to new beginnings for yourself, right? One where you are in alignment with what your purpose is, or with your creativity, or having confidence to be able to move past the challenges that you've had to deal with in the past. And the Two of Cups energy is about you finding balance, harmony from within the self, and also learning how to elevate in terms of your way of thinking, and also the way you speak and communicate with other people, so that you are, being able to better form connections with people, right? To me, that's the revelation, is you kind of, in a way, looking back to your past. What did I learn from it? What has this taught me? Going through this challenge, going through this struggle. And for many of you, can be discovering your life purpose in that way. And I'm feeling a lot of you, it is healing, some type of healing work, whether that is you're healing with your words, you're healing with your actions. Like I said, some of you an advocate for children, even healing the inner child, voice of the outcasts. Okay, some of you are creatives. Some of you can even be helping people to learn how to restore confidence within themselves, right? That could be life coaching. That could be mentoring. Anything having to do with that. Nurturing very much with the Empress energy there. Okay, so let's see if there is any other messages for pile number 1. Okay, so we have mindfulness. We have alignment. We have the third eye chakra. And then we also have energetic responsibility at the bottom. Okay, so with this energy here, the energetic responsibility is more or less about you recognizing that with the traumas that you've gone through, that you are ultimately responsible for your own energy, which means that some of these things that you've gone through with the trauma, these things are in the past. Okay? These things are in the past. It is up to you, because the only one person who is now suffering from these things is you. Right? No one else. It's just you. It's the energy that we hold on to. So this is recognizing that if there are some things that are here, we can really dig into them. We can really understand, okay, why am I feeling triggered today? Why am I hurting? Why do I still feel this way? It is us understanding that we are in control of our energy, that when these things do come up for us and we are feeling triggered and we're feeling hurt, we're feeling sad, that we have to acknowledge that it is something that we have to work through. That we have to acknowledge, hey, you know what? I'm still hurt from that thing that somebody said to me 15 years ago, 20 years ago, right? It is us recognizing that if when we own our feelings, we feel our feelings, right? We don't try to shove them away and pretend like they don't exist. This is understanding that we are in control of our own energy. If we choose to hold on to anger, if we choose to hold on to resentment, we are suffering. Right? We are the only ones that are suffering. So this is understanding that we have our own responsibility when it comes to our energy. We can choose to change and shift our perspective about something that we've gone through in the past, right? To let it not be something that we hold on to and let affect us in the present moment. Okay? So this is Spirit also wanting you to work on being more mindful. Right? When you start to notice, okay, is my lack of confidence coming through right now? Are my insecurities coming through? Do I doubt myself? Do I feel like I'm not good enough? Do I feel like I'm not confident enough in my abilities? So take some time to really think about what those things are, because I'm feeling that with the alignment energy here, it's Spirit wanting you to recognize when certain things are coming up for you so you can acknowledge them and sit with them, right? Honor those feelings that do come up so you can make sure that you are also keeping your energy in alignment, which is going to help you with keeping that third eye chakra open, which is going to help you to connect in with your higher self, right? Because for many of you, it could be feeling lost and still holding on to this energy, and that in itself could be something that's blocking you from discovering what your life purpose is. But I'm feeling a lot of the traumas for you, are you're healing this trauma is going to be something that's very significant for you when it does come to your life purpose, okay? And may be very directly related to what that is. And this may not necessarily be collective purpose, right? Where you actually have a career that revolves around healing children. That would be more collective energy. But for you, in a way that this is something personal, right? Something personal for you. So what else here for pile number 1? What else for pile number 1? Okay, so we have future here, and it says shift your focus onto present events rather than what's ahead. The future is not meant to be known. Okay, so that may even be for some of you where you get kind of like too anxious or too much ahead of yourself, and this is about you keeping yourself grounded in the present moment. Okay, we have image here. It says, I'm comfortable in my own skin, even if others can accept me. And this is exactly what a lot of this energy has been through in this. And look at that. We've got heart and soul, honesty, creative, honor, love, smile, compassion, respect, gorgeous, self-love, beauty, success, be you, strength, breathe deeply, blessed. What is this? That one is too small for me to read. But yeah, it's just like she's filled with all of these words, right? In love with myself, wealth. Let's see what else. Okay, so we've got red flags here, and it says, I listen to my instincts when things seem off. Okay. So this may also be recognizing, like, right, new friends, new people, new romantic partners, to make sure that you really pay attention to the red flags with other people, especially if it's friends, new romantic partners, whatever it may be. Okay, but Spirit wanting you to pay attention to those, right? And the more that you learn to love yourself, have more confidence in yourself, you can most definitely recognize when there are certain red flags that are coming out with other people that you're kind of bringing forward within your own life. Okay, so like I said, a lot of the healing, the lower chakras, the root chakra, the sacral chakra, the solar plexus, okay, working on your self-esteem, working on your confidence, that can come through you looking in the mirror every single day and, doing your affirmations, right? It's also you digging deep into those wounds, into that trauma, into, like I said, a lot of that is centered around the feminine. It could be a lot of emotional release, a lot of emotional release that is needed. Exploring your creative energy, okay? Going out and doing something that's going to help you to channel and release a lot of this energy. And it could be that maybe your soul is wanting to express it in a way that is creative, maybe through writing, maybe through some type of art, or a way that you can express maybe pain that you've had in the past with something. That could even be painting, or using your voice, sharing your story in a way that's going to help you to be able to heal here as well. Okay, so I'm going to leave this here for you, pile number 1. I hope this is helpful for you guys, and I will see you in the next reading. Hi, pile 2. So those of you that resonated with the dolphin and this ocean jasper, this is going to be a reading. So you chose the dolphin, which is water sign energy. So you don't necessarily have to be a water sign, but this is Cancer, Scorpio, Pisces. Okay, so we will get into the message with the dolphin. It is part of your reading. Okay, so our pick a card today is, what is your biggest trauma and how can you heal it? And so I recognize that going into this reading, it may bring up a lot of stuff, right? Because we're healing trauma here and taking a look at it. So that can be pretty triggering at times, you know, depending on what types of traumas that you've gone through and what you've experienced with the energy that you're still maybe holding on to for some of you. So there was a lot of stuff that came through for Pal 1 and it kind of made me a little teary-eyed and cry a little bit. But that's what we expect, right, from these readings, is to be some kind of help and assistance to you. I hope. That's my hope for this reading. So we're going to start off with your tarot, but and then we'll pull out the oracle messages to kind of get a clear big picture of what is going on for you and what Spirit's advice is on how you can work through healing through this energy. Okay, so let's look at your tarot. So we have the King of Cups, and I can already see where this is going. We have Temperance, especially with you guys. Just the dolphin. All I need is the dolphin, and I already know what is happening here. We've got the Fool energy here. We have the Queen of Wands. We have the Emperor. And then we also have the Nine of Wands energy. Okay, so like I said, just with your dolphin alone, this is really telling me that you are someone who is incredibly nurturing. Almost like a person who felt the need to heal others and to nurture other people, almost to the point where you may have neglected yourself. And that could have been because you grew up in a home in which you felt like you were not nurtured. I feel like you are someone who has a huge heart. And this is a very innocent, very sweet, very playful energy. It's also very intelligent, definitely healing energy, healing type of personality. So you could have been that friend or even that, you know, child who was constantly fixated on being able to help people, heal people, want to nurture. And I feel like a lot of that may have come from you being someone who may have not received that type of love or that type of nurturing, that to the point where you felt like you had to be your own nurturer, your own. But I feel like a lot of this centers around you giving love to people who were not open to receiving it, which could put you in a place where you become very drained, where you find yourself constantly giving and giving and giving, because the King of Cups has a huge heart. This is you being someone who's compassionate, who's loving, who's nurturing. The Temperance energy is also about healing, but with that, we have the Fool. The Fool can be very naive. Okay, and with what I'm seeing with that energy here is that could have led you to being someone who constantly gave so much of yourself, and in a way kind of almost to the point where it was affecting you or has affected you in a negative way, negatively impacting you. And so this could have also been something that affected your self-esteem and also your ability to be assertive, to learn how to set boundaries in relationships. And so with the Nine of Wands energy here, that could have led you to a lot of people and situations in which you give so much of yourself and people taking it for granted, people taking you for granted. Okay, with the Emperor energy, for some of you, this can even be affecting, especially with the Emperor and the King of Cups. Both of these can be masculine energies. Doesn't have to be, but these are both masculine. Okay, now the Emperor archetype is that of father or husband. Okay, very masculine energy, which means what? Not so much with the lovey-dovey stuff. Okay, not so much talking about feelings, not so much talking about emotions. It is a very disciplined energy in which very authoritative. Okay, I will say that. So some of you could have had a parent, maybe even a grandparent, like I said, doesn't necessarily have to be male, could also be a female that's kind of leading with this Emperor energy, someone who was tough love on you, someone who wasn't giving you love, or someone who wasn't very nurturing. Okay, that could have been something that affected your self-esteem, your self-worth, to the point, like I said, where you were someone who just wants to give love, wants to love everybody, wants to give everybody the benefit of the doubt, everybody a chance, and just kind of pouring out the love to everybody. And sometimes, unfortunately, that is to people who take advantage of that, take you for granted, use people, right? You might find yourself in situations or have been in situations like that in the past, okay? And I feel like with temperance, it's about you learning to, and I feel like what happens here for some of you is that you are all about love. You are all about giving it. You're all about, romance and love and just kind of wanting to put your whole heart out there. And I feel like you might find yourself in situations with people who you feel like you can heal them, especially if you connect with romantic partners in which they are not so open, they are not so loving. And it's like you're kind of automatically drawn, or the vice versa, they're drawn to you because of that love and that nurturing energy. And it's more or less because they need to learn to love themselves, right? And I feel like for you, it's learning to love yourself to the point where you have to recognize what your boundaries are, right? You can't just give and give and give until you're like depleted to kind of please everyone else. And so I feel like maybe for some of you, there's been a lot of naivety that comes along with that. The Fool has a very aloof energy that doesn't recognize when there are certain, let's just say, dangers, especially when it comes to friendships or love situations for some of you, maybe even friends or even connections with family members. But it's just kind of like this aloof energy of not recognizing that sometimes when you put yourself completely out there and you allow yourself to be completely vulnerable, not everyone that you connect with is going to respect you. Not everyone that you connect with is going to give you that same love that you're trying to give to them. So some of you could have found yourself in situations that were very painful, very challenging, that may have affected your self-esteem, your self-worth, your confidence in yourself, and a need for you to learn how to be more assertive and stand your ground and be more focused. I feel like some of you with that. So let's see what else is here. We have Yamaya, mother of all with divine care. We also have patience. We have the bear with protection and faith. And then we also have, look at that, appreciation. Okay. So yeah, that to me is kind of like maybe going through some type of specific traumas where you found yourself with people, connections, friendships, where you were always that person who gave so much of yourself. And maybe for some parents, for some of you, it wasn't good enough. It wasn't enough, right? Feeling like it wasn't enough. Maybe feeling underappreciated, undervalued, okay, with that. And so with the bear energy here, with the protection, for some of you, like I said, it is a need for you to really learn how to set stronger boundaries, right? With the King of Cups is also you progressing and learning how to be more emotionally mature, right? To keep your own feelings and emotions kind of like in check here. With the patience energy here, and you also have temperance. Temperance is about the process of alchemy, transmutation of energy and manifestation, but it's also about us learning how to be patient, right? So many of you could kind of like jump right in to, let's just say, love situations or even friendships and not being very discerning, just kind of not recognizing, oh, you know what? If I give, this person all of this love or all this time, all this energy, it's like you give so much of yourself for some of you that is something that is not being returned. Okay, it's kind of what I'm seeing here. So it's learning how to be better protective of your own energy, setting some strong boundaries. Some of you may have also over time, because of these situations that you've gone through, have become very guarded, very challenged within this energy here as well. And so with patience here, it's also about you recognizing not to try to rush into situations, right? Not to rush into situations with people, romantic partners, and things of that nature that I'm seeing here as well. Some of you may have kind of grown up in situations or even relationships and connections with people who were not the most emotionally available, or maybe people who weren't as compassionate and loving as you were. And that was the energy that you grew up with. I feel like in a way that you learn how to be that by yourself, right? I'm feeling kind of like a lot of self-soothing, where maybe you felt like you were not getting that nurturing. I don't know why, but I keep getting like a grandparent. So some of you could have been that you were raised by a grandparent, a grandmother, maybe even a grandfather. But I'm feeling this energy very heavily coming through with this pile for some of you. And that could be that maybe you had a parent that was absent, right? So there's also abandonment wounds that are here for some of you. Some of you, it is tied and connected into the father with the Emperor, maybe even a father who wasn't accepting or who kind of pushed you away, or kind of maybe even for some of you controlling or overly authoritative, maybe very strict is another energy that I'm kind of getting through here. Very strict, very controlling. For some of you, I'm getting even jealousy, sabotage, and this could be even surrounding a feminine energy. Maybe even having friends who were jealous of you, or maybe even siblings who were jealous as well. Is another thing that I'm seeing here. I'm also getting maybe even parents or even people surrounding you, romantic partners, friends, that it could have also been a lot of emotional instability. Okay? A lot of emotional instability that's happening here. There's a lot of fears, insecurities, worries, doubts, a lot of limitations. A lot of you also, I feel like because of being hurt here with the Nine of Wands energy here, it's a lot of trying to protect yourself, protect your own energy. But I'm feeling like at heart, and I'm noticing how even in this Yamaya card, the mother of all, there's another dolphin here. You have a dolphin here and a dolphin there as well. And so I feel like many of you are kind of like underestimating your own power, your own... I'm feeling there's clearly a need for learning how to set boundaries with people, learning how to speak up, learning how to use your voice, learning how to set those boundaries in place where you're not over giving of yourself, of your time, of your love, of your energy. There's this strong, this bear energy that is here, very protective energy surrounding you with that bear. And for some of you, it is maybe even maternal energy. And that's just kind of the energy that I feel like that you have, is just one that wants to be very caring for others, like wanting to just give so much of yourself. And some of you may even find yourself in situations where you move into friendships or connections or attachments with people very quickly because you're very trusting, I feel like, with your heart, for many of you. And a result of that, I feel like with the Nine of Wands is also having gone through a lot of challenging situations, finding yourself in challenging situations. But it makes me feel like you have just such a beautiful, genuine, playful spirit about you that people often don't recognize. I feel like how truly blessed they are to have you in their life, almost like they take it for granted. Take it for granted here is kind of what I'm seeing. So a lot of helping you to really heal this for yourself is learning to be patient. I feel like learning, and it's something that's not easy, right? Learning to be patient for, let's just say, the right person to come along. But the dolphin energy is one that does, I feel like, best in connections with people that are like-minded, right? So this is you understanding that if you have to try to force love or force a friendship, force a situation with someone who doesn't come with that same energy as you, it's something that's draining. It's something that is depleting you of your own energy, right? And so to me, there is this very heavy energy here, especially with the bear. The bear is a very protective energy. And I feel like this is where Spirit is saying you're needing to really take some time to learn to recognize yourself for those traumas and things that you may have gone through in your past, and recognize that you have been able to move past them. Because the Nine of Wands is also about resilience. It is some of us that have gone through some very challenging cycles. And so for many of you, I feel like you have high hopes and wishes and dreams about being able to find and connect with the right people, like finding your soul tribe and finding your soul family and finding the right partners, even within life, because there's so much of your soul and your spirit of love that you have to share and to give. And there's a need for some of you to really work on your level of confidence, your self-esteem, your self-worth, is another thing that I'm seeing here, and really learning how to appreciate yourself and what you have to give and the love that you have to give. And if somebody is not coming to you with that same energy that is matching that, that is you learning to have set better boundaries and be more protective of your own energy, learning to be assertive, finding your voice, learning how to speak up, learning how to stand your ground, learning how to recognize when people are using you or they're just like not coming in with the right energy, and being patient and holding out for the right ones who are, is another thing that I'm seeing coming through here as well. Another thing that may help you as well is balancing out both the feminine and the masculine energies here. Okay? Some of you may have found yourself in situations where you were dealing with a lot of whether it is mother or father, or even relationships that you were in, leading with a lot of toxic masculine. Okay, and what I mean by the toxic masculine energy is that when you think about the traditional archetype of masculine, okay, what part of that is that of ourself, right? Or even another person whose gender identifies as being a male. When we think about that traditional archetype, we think of protector, we think of authority, we think of discipline, we think of action, we think of, someone who's providing and taking care of you and doing things of that nature. But the toxic masculine energy becomes controlling, becomes aggressive, becomes someone who is completely cold or detached, right? Or needs are not being met. Someone who's not protective, someone who's no longer taking care of you or providing for you, right? So you can have someone with that toxic masculine energy that can be very dominating and very strong and feeling a need even to be a little bit more aggressive or have a temper, right? Those would be delving into the shadow side of that masculine energy and can quickly become toxic masculine. Some of you might even find yourself in situations where you're connecting with people who lead with that type of energy, right? And does that look very good for someone like you that's coming in with this playful, sweet, innocent, loving dolphin energy? No, right? No. So this can be you healing those wounds, maybe even for some of you learning, from the toxic masculine energy, what maybe you've learned about those situations that you've gone through. It can also be healing your own toxic masculine energy that some of you may even have with inside of yourself. Okay? Maybe sabotaging, maybe controlling, maybe feeling the need to maybe even develop for some of you unhealthy attachments, right, to people. Like I said, the full energy is very naive, right? So sometimes we can just kind of like jump right into something and feeling that someone is going to meet those needs for us as well. Okay? But some of you, I'm seeing this as you healing those wounds surrounding maybe a wounded masculine energy, your own wounded masculine. Maybe for some of you, it's learning how to be more disciplined, learning how to be more assertive, right? You can have a wounded masculine energy that's kind of like the complete opposite of that overbearing, aggressive or dominating type of energy, and be completely feeling like you're not assertive enough, or you're not, learning how to stand up for yourself and have a voice, right? So sometimes that can be a need for you to do that as well and be better protective of your own energy, right? Giving yourself your own self-love, your own care, and recognizing that if there are people in your life that are not returning, like I said, that same energy, that you remove those people out of your life, right? And you be patient for the people who are truly meant to be in your life, okay? It's kind of what I'm seeing there. So we do have Sagittarius, we have Aquarius, Aries energy that's coming through, Sagittarius. We also have Leo. And then we also have Cancer, Scorpio, and Pisces energy as well. Okay, so let's get some additional messages for you. Yeah, some of you may have even had somebody that was around you that was very overprotective or controlling or dominating, or maybe even rude or spiteful. And that could be siblings, that could be friends that you've had, that could be romantic partners that you had. Possessive is another thing. Possessive, controlling, dominating. Emotional instability can be something here. Somebody who's emotionally immature. Some of you, I'm even getting, this could have been, even have parents that abused alcohol. Okay, is another thing that I'm seeing coming through here as well. Abuse of alcohol. Yeah, or even any other type of addictions. That could be a thing here as well. And maybe for some of you, it's struggling with your own addictions. Okay, let's see here. Okay, so pile number 2. Okay, so we have implementing change. Okay, and we'll kind of see with what. And then we have duality here. And to me, that duality is balancing out of both the feminine and the masculine energy. So let's see what else. For pile number 2, we have awareness. Okay, and to me, that is you becoming more self-aware, right, of your own energy that you're putting out towards others in a way. We have triggers here. Paying attention to the triggers, because those are giving you clues, right, to certain traumas that are not healed yet. Okay, why certain things are coming up, or even repeated patterns that you're kind of seeing. But in order for healing, we have awareness here, and that is huge, right? That is being aware of our own patterns of behaviors when it comes to our connections with other people, or even our own ways of thinking. Okay, being more aware of those so that we can help to change or shift them, right? We have implementing change here. So I want to, and where is my tarot deck? Of course, it's all the way across the room. So let's see what Spirit is saying here that kind of changes you're needing to implement here. What kind of change is pile number 2 needing to implement to help them to heal from their traumas? What kind of change is pile number 2 implementing? Okay, so we have the 9 of Pentacles, which is about independence. Okay, 6 of Wands energy here. To me, this is about you being able to kind of stand on your own and not feeling like you have to need someone to make you feel whole, to make you feel complete. This is about you with the 9 of Pentacles. It's a healthy independence or even interdependence from people, from relationships. The 6 of Wands is also Spirit wanting you to recognize your accomplishments, your milestones that you make with your healing process, and not kind of say, okay, well, yeah, I went through this thing and I healed this part of it, but I still have to do all of this work. It's like, no. If, let's just say there's a certain trauma that you went through and you've been more, I feel like, aware of a slowdown of obsessive thinking. That is a milestone, okay? You lessened your anxiety. You are aware of a trigger now, and you've been able to honor those feelings and those emotions that come up. It's like through this process of you healing, it's you recognizing all of the milestones, appreciating yourself for the work that you've done, whether it's something big or it's something small. This is about you, really working on your sense of stability, security, standing on your own. Autonomy is another thing here, right? Your own identity, not feeling like you have to, like your worth is being validated by another person, but you validate yourself, okay? So implementing change that way. Let's see what else for pile number 2. Page of Pentacles, okay? So that can even be meeting and connecting with new people, new friends, surrounding yourself with new friends, making new friends. Okay? Ones that are not going to, I feel like, take advantage as well. Okay? Not taking advantage of you. And you recognizing when people are, so that you can cut them out and remove them. Right? With the patience here, it's a need for you to develop patience in all areas of your life. And this is not meaning that you give up and do nothing. It's about you being aware of different aspects within your life and circumstances that you are facing. It's also a need for stop pushing, rushing situations, but kind of being aware of what you need to maybe kind of work on in certain relationships, friendships, situations of that nature. Okay? So to me, a lot of that is about you practicing patience and presence with what's currently going on in your life. A lot of this can also be you learning to create maybe even new exercise programs, new diets, that might be something that really help you to change or shift even your own energy, right? Small little changes that can lead to big progress in terms of your own healing. So that can be a lot of you focusing on yourself. Like I said, with the Queen of Wands energy here, it's a lot of that is your self-confidence, your self-worth, your self-esteem. A lot of very passionate, very creative energy. So it can even be that you are someone who, follows your heart, follows your intuition when it comes to creative ideas that you have, right? That you're wanting to explore, and really not being afraid of taking a risk, taking a leap of faith into something new, right? And even working towards manifesting something that you really want within your life. It's also, I feel like, an opportunity for you to let go of judgment. And that judgment could be that other people are putting onto you, or even judgment that you have with yourself, right? When you judge yourself and you feel like, okay, well, I'm not worthy of this person's love, because you feel like that person wasn't giving you, like I said, with your dolphin energy here, you're given all the love, all the energy, all the attention. And if someone is not returning that, don't let that be a reflection of you and your unworthiness. That may be showing you where that person has their own issues that they need to heal, right? And could also be telling you, maybe they're not the right one. Maybe they're not the right friend. Maybe they're not the right romantic partner. It's about you connecting with people who are. And if that means you clearing out the friends out of your life, or romantic partners, or situations that you've got going on, to align yourself with new people, that's what it means. You're being aware of the people and the energy. This is where Spirit is saying, protect your energy, right? Surround yourself with like-minded people. Make new friends, right? Surround yourself with people who are going to meet you on your level, and not to the point where they are taking advantage of the love that you truly have to give. Okay? So let's get some last messages, pile number 2. We have issues here, and it says, I realize that everyone has their own issues to heal in this life. I cannot do the work for anyone else but myself. And that's exactly what I was saying to you about your dolphin energy. It's like you want to heal everybody. You want to help everybody, right? And some of you could be meaning that you're falling in love with potential. You're falling in love with the friend who, if I only help them with this, then it'll be a good friendship. If I only help this romantic partner with this, it'll be fine, right? It'll be good. Let's see here. We also have honesty here, and it says, I speak up when I have something to share. I am no longer fearful of what other people cannot handle, right? Which is you finding your own voice, you being assertive. Hey, you know what? I was helping you with this, and I feel like you're just using me. Or if you want to say it in a nicer way, that you can think of a nicer way, but it's you being honest. It's you being direct, right? It's no longer being afraid of what other people not accepting you, or they're going to shut you out of the friend group if you speak your mind, you speak your truth. It's you being confident in yourself. Let's see what else. Pile number 2. We have, I know what I want, and I am no longer afraid to get it. The Huntress, right? That is you holding out, being patient for someone who is, or a friend who is, or a situation, or a job. Or you could even be in a job where you have a boss who puts you down, a boss who doesn't make you feel validated, or doesn't see you. You work too much and the boss is not seeing you and paying you your worth. It could be so many different ways of going through this, right? So let's see what else. We have branded here, and it says, what other people think about me is none of my business. I choose to let it go now. Okay? And then we also have memories here, and it says, I do not focus on what is already gone. I choose to show up for myself fully and others in the present moment. Okay? So that is what I'm seeing here for you. Pile number 2. I do hope that this reading was helpful for you guys, and I will see you in the next one. Hi, pile 3. So those of you that resonated with the horse and this candy rainbowed fluorite crystal, this is going to be a reading. So we are finding out, I can put this over here so it doesn't get in the way, what your biggest trauma is and how you can heal it. We're going to be getting some guidance messages from Spirit that comes through with this. So going into this reading, we're talking about trauma. Okay, so of course things like this are not always easy to hear. It can bring up a lot of stuff for you. So I am putting a little bit of a trigger warning on this reading, you know, but I feel like most of you that clicked on this reading, you're ready to do the work. You're ready to acknowledge what's there and to do the healing. So it's not like it's like a huge surprise. We're focusing on healing, right? But just so you guys are aware, it may not be the whole, you know, rainbows and butterflies and candy, you know, acorns and things of that nature, right? So it's stuff that we're healing, okay? So the horse is actually one of your messages here as far as what your biggest trauma is. And we're going to pull out the tarot. I am going to pull all of the cards out together so we can look at everything as an entire picture so I get a good idea of what is happening here for you. But yes, putting the trigger warning on this reading. So pile number 3, biggest trauma and how you can heal it. So we have the 3 of Wands. We have the Chariot. We have Justice. The 3 of Wands. So you have the 3 of Wands here twice. We have the 7 of Cups. Okay, I think I know where this is going. And then we have the Knight of Swords. Okay. So we've got the horse. We have I am whole, and it says wholeness. What is there? Okay. And I'm seeing here there's a moon and there's a sun here. Okay. Moon here. Okay, so we have entrapment here. Entrapment. Wow, we have envy. Okay, and then we have the hedgehog with inner world and curiosity. Okay. Okay, so this is a lot. It's a lot of stuff that's coming through here. But what is the most, I will say, stand out. You do have one major arcana here, which is the Chariot. The Chariot is about freedom. It is about willpower, determination, focus, discipline. It is that spiritual force about moving forward, making progress, moving ahead, feeling confident enough, having enough willpower to move ahead and to create changes, I feel like, in your life. But what I'm noticing here is that you have the 7 of Cups energy here. And the 7 of Cups is about fantasy. It's about options, choices, feeling overwhelmed, decisions, you know, things that you're thinking about, imagining, fantasizing about, dreaming about. And that can lead to a lot of clouded energy, feeling a little bit lost, feeling undecided. And what I'm noticing is that you have the 3 of Wands here twice. And entrapment, which makes me feel that, and I don't know exactly what this trauma is from this. But maybe we've got envy here in this entrapment. So we'll talk about those two. what this potentially could be for you. But the way that I'm seeing this here is the way that Spirit is showing me how this has manifested into your life. Is that you are someone that has a lot of dreams, a lot of goals, a lot of desires, a lot of things that you're wanting to achieve, lots of ways that you imagine your life being. Like, I want my life to be this way, I want it to be that way, I want to do this, I want to create this, I want to create that. But it's being afraid for whatever reason. And it almost makes me, looking at this card here with the entrapment here, how there's this girl that's kind of like laying down on the bed, and there is this guy standing back here with this plague, like the plague doctor. And he's got this wand, which almost looks like he's, I don't know, maybe there's something that he's saying to her. And I mean, the way that I look at this symbolically is that maybe for some of you, this can be a person around you, a parent, you know, this could be so many different things. It could be friends, it could be family members, romantic partners. And in a way, there has been something, some kind of trauma that you have gone through that has taken your power away. Okay? Taken away your freedom, taken away your, not really your rights, but almost like something that is keeping you restricted and keeping you stuck and keeping you, and that could even be limitations that you place on yourself, your own words. For some of you, this could have manifested into your life with, and of course, these messages that come through, only take them if they resonate and you know that this is something that you've got going on. It's not going to fit for all of you. But for some of you, this has put you in a place where you are afraid to move forward with your life. You're afraid. It could even be a fear of success, a fear of failure, a fear of making plans. It's almost like watching everyone else around you's life take shape, take form, and it's kind of like leaving you in the background, where there is this fear within you that is too afraid to move forward. For some of you, I'm hearing some kind of loss. Okay, loss very early in life. Some of you, this was a brother. Some of you could have been a father. I'm getting a lot of masculine energy coming through. Some of you, this is losing. Some of you can even be a spouse. Okay, that is just something that Spirit's saying coming through. Others of you, I'm feeling like this could have been almost like a person in your life that was saying things to you. I don't know if this is kind of like ridicule or just like being very demeaning or orderly or telling you things that were very mean, to the point where this kind of took a blow to your self-esteem, your confidence that you've had within yourself. For some of you, there's a loss of a person, grief. For some of you, grief. There's a heaviness of grief here in this pile. And losing someone. Some of you, I'm getting a husband, a brother, a male energy is coming through very strong. Could even be a father. What is this, Spirit? Some of you, there is some kind of maybe even abandonment, abuse that's coming through. Some of you may have felt very controlled, could have had a parent that was very controlling, or even a partner for some of you. Controlling, narcissistic is coming through. I don't know who that's for. Yeah, even for some of you, having a parent or maybe even siblings. A lot of jealousy, a lot of envy happening within a family. I'm getting maternal line for some of you, like having a mother that was jealous, or like pettiness, like just petty behavior and energy. Someone who's I don't know, it just makes me feel here with this that you may have been someone who had to kind of almost like wanting to escape your reality. disassociating in a way to put yourself out of what your life was, whatever trauma that was, and almost feeling like you had to create your own reality in your head, in your mind, and live in that world because it was more comfortable than the reality that you were actually living in. Almost like you wanted to like just be away. You wanted to be gone. You didn't want to be there. And I feel like it was something that affected, almost like it makes you in a point where you run away. You run away. There could be feelings of weakness, of not feeling confident enough or brave enough to remove yourself out of situations or to move forward, or not having the confidence to progress in life, and just feeling stuck. Just feeling stuck. For some of you with the Justice card here, there's a lot of karma that you're working through. Finding yourself in very karmic relationships, karmic friendships, karmic situations. You may even find yourself in a place where you envy others, or you find that maybe you're in a place where a lot of people envy you. What else am I getting here? And I feel like you are someone who, with the Chariot and also the horse here, is earth energy here. Taurus, Virgo, Capricorn, but we also have Cancer, Libra, Aries, Scorpio, and also Gemini and Aquarius. Okay. I'm also getting a very strong Scorpio energy coming through. But I'm feeling, with looking at this card here, it says, I am whole, and the number 30, which reduces to a number 3, which is the Empress. Some of you, this is something that has been affecting your feminine energy, your creativity, your intuition. Some of you can be in situations where you live, like I said, a lot in your mind, in your head, almost like a lot of fantasizing, a lot of dreaming, a lot of visions, a lot of things that you want to do. And it kind of leaves you in that place where you have a lot of dreams, I feel like, about the future and wanting to manifest, wanting to create. But it's almost like keeping yourself in the in-between, like wanting to close out one chapter of life and begin a new one. But you notice how with the Envy card here, she's kind of standing in the doorway, where out there was all this bright, brilliant yellow light of opportunity, and she's kind of keeping herself stuck in this gray area of that. And so for many of you, I feel like there's a lot of things that weigh very heavily within your heart and within your mind. Like I said, a lot of karmic lessons and cycles and things like that you've gone through. And it almost makes me feel like a lot of you are kind of like living in always future planning, but not grounded in the present moment. Some of you may also be, out of your own fears, make very impulsive decisions, quick decisions, and sometimes those might lead to situations that you find yourself in that are not the most, say, satisfactory, things that don't really make you happy. So it's like, even when you're in that place, you're constantly still thinking about what the next thing's going to be. Maybe this will make me happier. Maybe I'll be happy when this happens. I'll be happy when that happens. And I don't know. I mean, I'm just getting, this is like so random. Some of you, I will say, with this entrapment energy here, I'm looking at how this person that's standing behind her, I'm imagining this person saying something to her, and she's just like, I'm tuning you out. I don't want to listen to you. I don't want to hear you. I feel like many of you may even have advice and guidance from other people, maybe even family members or friends that are trying to help you to kind of get out of this funk, to try to step back into your power, to move ahead and progress in life. And some of you are not listening in a way that, because you may have been through so much challenging stuff, that you almost feel like giving up or having gave up with trying to improve things and trying to make things better. So it's kind of like you live in for some of you, your own world, your own little world, of imagining things being better instead of manifesting that better into reality and stepping out of that place of confusion and feeling lost and indecision and feeling overwhelmed and planning and things of that nature. There's a need for you to kind of step back into your power to create the reality that you're really wanting to live in. Okay? And for many of you, I'm feeling like this, what am I seeing here? Some of you, I'm also getting, there may have been somebody that was surrounding you, whether this was childhood or even adult relationships, friendships, things of that nature. I don't know why. Some of you, I'm getting, there was a lot of moving, a lot of relocating, a lot of constantly just, I don't know if this was a parent. Just constantly feeling like you were never secure, you were never stable. Maybe for some of you, it's like changing schools a bunch of times or moving locations a bunch of times. And it almost makes me feel like your sense of stability or security was something that was taken away. Maybe even for some of you very young, during childhood. And you kind of felt, maybe for some of you, trapped in that person's way of living. It wasn't something that you wanted for yourself. I'm just like, I'm hearing spirits like saying, get over it, but not in a way that this is spirit telling you that, but it's almost like a parent that's telling you, like if there's something that you went through, like the parent saying that, oh, just get over it. Oh, just get over it. You know, like not even acknowledging something that you had gone through, something that you had experienced. Some of you, I'm getting a lot of aggressive energy, even very nasty words that were communicated to you. Maybe for some of you, even in like an aggressive parent or even a partner for some of you. But with the horse energy being here, the horse energy is really something that is very, when it's in balance, it can be very disciplined, very focused, very much about achieving anything and never giving up. But it almost looks like with the here, this woman just kind of laying there, almost like she's just given up. You know? Almost like she's given up. And the I am whole, I feel like, is that spirit in a way for you to be able to heal past whatever this trauma is, that you learn to balance out your own energies, because the Chariot is also this energy of balance, the yin and the yang, the masculine, the feminine, duality. The Justice card is also a card of balance here. Okay? We're seeing the balance here in this card with the masculine, the feminine. Also in the Envy card here, I'm seeing, again, this darker, shadowy energy here and the light energy there. So a lot of you can really, I feel like, benefit from in working towards healing from the trauma to be able to move past it. The card number 20 relates to the Judgment card in the tarot. And Judgment is about forgiveness. It is about releasing our burdens, our heaviness, our grief, our pain, our sadness, resentment, anger. That may be something that really helps you to reclaim your power. Okay? Some of you may even have found yourself stuck in situations that you did not want to be in, to the point where you felt like, I'm not strong enough or courageous enough to get myself out of this situation. So it's kind of like living in your own little world. Like I said, living in your own world and wanting so much more, so much better for yourself. And it's a need for you to learn to be more confident in your decisions, in your actions, because with justice is karma. Okay? And so with karma, there could be certain choices and decisions that we make that lead us, like I said, to very not so great places. And this is about us learning from those mistakes, learning from those things that we've done in the past to be able to move past and beyond that type of energy. Okay? The Three of Wands is about planning. It's about foresight, but it's also about taking that first step with action to be able to change things. right? To have enough courage and confidence within ourselves to not let the opinions or values or belief systems of other people, or even ones that have been forced upon us, to be something that limits our growth and our success and our movement and power forward, right? So in a way, this is spirit kind of in a way wanting you to rediscover yourself and who you are, and feel more confident in you allowing yourself to take risks and to be open to change and to moving this yourself forward, away from insecurities, away from fears, away from not acknowledging the power that you hold within yourself to be able to change what your circumstances are. Okay? For some of you, I'm even getting, there could even be like a victim consciousness, you know, holding on to the all the things that other people have done to you or said to you, or all the things that you've gone through. And there's a need for you to really work towards freeing yourself from that, right? Freeing yourself from that type of energy, and not allowing that to be something that completely holds you back. Okay? It's about you recognizing I feel like your sense of self, being more self-aware. Some of you, I feel like you're also could potentially be had a parent who was very critical of you, and may even find that you yourself are very hard on yourself. For some of you, you know, you could have had a parent that really nitpicked you and said, "Oh, this isn't right. That's not right. And you didn't do this right, or you didn't do that," or even having a spouse or a partner, a friend, right, that kind of like took you, cut you down in a way with words. Very jealous, very cattiness for some of you. I'm getting with this envy energy here, right? A person who just kind of comes into your life and says all of these things. Like I said, to this point where she looks like she's just like ready to escape. You know, there's this person standing behind her with like a little wand there, almost like he's telling her what to do. He's telling her this, he's telling her that, he's telling her all the things this, all the things that. And she's just like, I am so checked out. Like, I'm done. You know, so some of you may literally feel like you're stuck in a situation, or you felt like that even as a child, or even past connections, past friendships, you know, where people could have been even projecting their own issues onto you, which had nothing to do with you. For some of you, but I'm feeling it like it has definitely been something that has made you feel very defeated, has taken and almost kind of like sucked the life out of you in a way. Okay, so what I feel like Spirit's saying here, in order for you to be able to heal this, for many of you, it's increasing the mental focus, the meditation, okay, physical stamina, which is going to be about exercising, getting on an exercise routine to help to kind of clear out this energy here, so that you can really kind of focus on yourself, your own power. Strength training may be something that also is very helpful for you guys as well. Okay. With the entrapment, like I said, those of you that are finding yourself in those situations, it's about you having enough courage and confidence to get out of those situations, right? That some of you could be letting too many things in your environment control your life. Okay. And it's a need for you to shift into your personal power, take responsibility for your life, and choose new ways of thinking so that you can create change, okay? If you're feeling like the reality that you're currently living in right now is not one that you're completely happy with, it's about you keeping yourself focused on what your desires are, the changes that you want, and actually keeping yourself disciplined and motivated towards that, right? Because for some of you, it can be blaming outside influences, you know, about, oh, I couldn't do this because of that person. I couldn't do this and get this done because of that person. This is about you owning it, about you stepping into your power. You know, for many of you, it can be looking to maybe other people that are surrounding you that are successful, people that inspire you. This can be listening to people who have like podcasts that have achievements, like-minded people. It could be reading self-help books, going to seminars of people who have completely changed their life, can also be something there as well. So I feel like this has been something for many of you that has affected your self-esteem, your confidence, your belief in yourself, right? Instead of being envious, say, like of other people, oh, this person has this person has that. And that may have been something that you went through, like I said, where you had a partner who made you feel like you weren't good enough, or, you know, maybe affected your self-esteem or your confidence in yourself in some way. Like I said, I don't know specifically. Spirit's not letting me know exactly what the trauma is for you. I can only see where Spirit is saying this is how it's manifested into pile number 3's life. Okay? And I feel like for many of you, it can be some very karmic family type of situations, a lot of imbalances, a lot of maybe even being deceitful, just very one-sided type of maybe relationships, friendships that you've been in. Some of you could have gone through divorce, parents that were divorced, your own divorce, your own separation. Some of you could literally be going through that right now, legal issues that you're having problems with is another thing that I'm seeing here. So what else? Yeah, so I'm feeling definitely a need for, in regards to healing this, is to really like I said, step back into your power, right? And that is by really looking to certain ways that you may have been thinking, how they've been affecting you. How have your decisions affected you, right? So let's see what else here. Pile number 3. But yeah, I'm just getting with this envy here. Some of you could have had like lots of jealous friends, or even a jealous mother, parent. That's kind of what I'm seeing there. Just a lot of, I don't know, just maybe even for some of you, discipline, like a very tough parent, maybe in a very toxic way for some of you, you know? So let's see, pile number 3. Maybe even situations that you found yourself in that kept you stuck, restricted in some way. You know, like constantly wanting to be out of a situation. Okay, so pile number 3. We have energetic responsibility, okay? And that's kind of what this card was talking about here as well. It's a need for you to take accountability for your own life, your own decisions, to step outside of that energy that you may have been holding on to from the past, right? No more blaming. It's this situation the reason that I'm going through this, or it's this person's fault I'm going through this. No, it's about you owning it, your choices, your decisions, your responsibility, and taking accountability for your own choices and where they may have led you towards. Some of you, like I said, that you've gone through some trauma where you had a parent or a partner kind of put you in that position. It's about you being strong enough to remove yourself out of it, right? And that could be, like I said, building up the stamina with the horse energy, coming up with an exercise routine for yourself, right? That's going to make you to feel better about you, more confident in you, okay? Let's see what else here. We have overcoming adversity. Okay. So that means when we're facing challenges, that if we do face them, that we don't let them completely stop us on our tracks and completely throw us off balance, or even allow other people to throw us off balance. That we have our goals. This is what we're doing. It doesn't matter what, you know, this person did or said to us in the past. We're not allowing that to be something that kind of affects our energy any longer. Okay. So we also have the journey of solitude here to help you to be able to heal. What does that mean? It's kind of like the hermit energy. It is you taking some time to really deep dive within yourself, introspection, reflection, shadow work, inner child healing. Okay. Like this message is here is talking about listening to podcasts, listening to people that are motivating you in some way to kind of help you to kind of get back on track so that you're able to move past these energies here. And then we have unconditional love. And for me, that is about you learning to really start with loving yourself, right? Even if you were someone who had a parent who wasn't unconditionally loving, or their love was something that was conditional. Okay, that is you learning to love yourself. I am whole. And that could be maybe an affirmation for you. I am whole. I am perfect just as I am. Right? I love me. I don't need anyone to, you know, tell me they love me in order for me to feel like I am worthy. Okay. So let's see what else here. And also, if you are someone who is jealous, right? You get jealous or you do get envious. What is that telling you about something that might need to be healed within you? Right? Does that mean that we're needing to work on self-esteem? Does it mean we're needing to work on self-worth? We're needing to work on maybe underlying insecurities that we have, right? What is making us feel envious? What is making us feel jealous? Okay. So let's see here. What can pile number 3 heal? We have unavailable here. And it says, this rejection is for my divine protection. Unavailable. So that may even be for helpful for those of you that have friends or romantic partners or even family members. They push you away out of their space, right? It's understanding that maybe that person's rejection for you is because that person's not meant to be in your life. You know, that friendship that needs to go, that relationship that needs to go. Let's see what else here. Right? Some of you could have been healing wounds of rejection from partners or even parents. Okay? Not feeling like your needs were being met. We also have the heart opening here, and it says, I forgive you. Okay? So that to me is kind of what I'm saying with the past, is there's a need for forgiveness. Because, you know, when we're holding on to a lot of this energy, the only person that's suffering is us. Okay? We are the one that are suffering. So that's going to be, and forgiveness is not easy, right? It takes time to reach that place. We have, I do not compare myself to other people on this journey of life. I stay in my own lane and I let others do the same. Okay. We have, I do not deprive myself of enjoyment in this life. Okay, so maybe it's also you learning how to have more fun, enjoy more things. Allow yourself to, especially if you are someone who holds yourself back. Okay, at the bottom of the deck, we have wishes here, and it says, I trust what is meant for me will show up at the right moments in my life. Okay, so I'm going to leave this here for you. Pile number 3. I do hope that this was helpful for you guys, and I will see you in the next reading.